Hey everyone, welcome to the Bold and the Beautiful. I'm Alma, and I'm so excited to have you here. If you love Bold and Beautiful update, then you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Alright, let's dive right in. Bridget Forrester paced the sterile confines of the hospital lab, her white coat hanging loosely over her shoulders like a shield against the storm brewing in her heart. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, casting harsh shadows on the counter where the paternity test kit lay unopened, its sealed envelope mocking her with the weight of secrets it held. She glanced at the clock, 10:47 p.m., and wondered if she'd ever get a moment's peace in this family of hers, where love tangled with betrayal like vines choking a rose bush. The door creaked open, and there he was, Will Spencer, her son, his face pale and drawn, eyes wide with the desperation of a boy on the brink of manhood. "Mom, please," he whispered, his voice cracking as he stepped inside, closing the door softly behind him. "Just tell me. I can't keep pretending like this isn't eating me alive. Is it true? Am I Luna's father?" Bridget's breath caught, her hand instinctively reaching for the envelope before pulling back. She turned to him, her blue eyes softening with the maternal ache that never faded, no matter how old he grew. "Will, honey, sit down. We need to do this right. The test results aren't just words on paper. They're going to change everything for you, for Luna, for all of us." He shook his head, collapsing into a stool, his hands trembling as he raked them through his tousled hair. "Change everything? Mom, it's already ruined me. That night, it was a mistake, a stupid, drunken blur at some party I shouldn't have been at. Luna's this whirlwind, this girl who's got the whole world spinning around her, and if she's mine, God, what does that make me? A deadbeat, before I've even started?" Bridget knelt beside him, her voice steady despite the tears pricking her eyes. "You're not a deadbeat, Will. You're my son, brilliant, kind, with a heart bigger than your father's ego. But we can't run from this. I administered the test myself this afternoon, swabbed you and Luna while she was here for that follow-up on her ankle. It's accurate, 99.9%. And, oh, God, Will, it is you." The words hung in the air like a guillotine's blade, and Will's world shattered. He buried his face in his hands, sobs racking his frame. No, please say it's not. Tell me it's a lab error, anything. I can't be a father, Mom. I'm 22, still figuring out med school applications, and Luna, she's fierce. She's got that fire from her mom. But jail? Drugs? What if I turn out just like... He trailed off, the unspoken name, Bill, looming between them like a ghost. Bridget pulled him into her arms, rocking him gently as she had when he was 5 and scared of thunderstorms. "You won't. You're better than that legacy, Will. We'll face this together. Luna needs you. Not as some absentee hero, but as the man who shows up. And I'll be right here. Every step." Across town, in the opulent glow of the Forrester mansion, Ridge Forrester stood like a sentinel at the floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the manicured gardens, his jaw set in that unyielding line that had weathered boardroom battles and bedroom wars alike. The city lights twinkled mockingly below, indifferent to the chaos Luna Nozawa had unleashed upon his family. Steffy was upstairs, blissfully unaware, her recovery from that brutal attack still fragile, and Ridge intended to keep it that way. "She's going back to jail, Eric," he growled, turning to his father who sat in the leather armchair, a scotch in hand, his face etched with the weariness of a man who'd seen too many Logans stir the pot. Eric steepled his fingers, his voice a gravelly rumble. "Ridge, son, Luna's a kid, barely out of her teens. That spiked drink, the assault on Steffy. It was a cry for help, not a manifesto of malice. Tom's fingerprints are all over this. That poor boy's desperation twisted her into something she's not." Ridge slammed his fist on the windowsill, the sound echoing like a gunshot. "A cry for help? She nearly killed my daughter. Steffy's got nightmares. Eric, waking up screaming, convinced there's poison in every shadow. And now this paternity bombshell with Will? It's a powder keg and Luna's the match. Brooke's already circling, whispering about second chances because it's her blood, that wild child daughter of hers who's always one scandal away from redemption. Eric sighed, setting his glass down with a clink. Brooke's not wrong to fight for family, Ridge. You've drawn that line in the sand so many times with her, and look where it's gotten us. Divorces, heartbreaks, but always back together. Luna's part of this web now, whether you like it or not. Will's involved, Bridget's reeling, punishing her won't untangle it. Ridge whirled, his eyes blazing. Punish? This isn't vengeance, Dad, it's justice. She drugged my child, violated our trust. The DA's breathing down my neck for a statement, and I'm not backing down. Luna goes back to jail, end of story. No olive branches, no therapy sessions. Steffy deserves peace, and I'll be damned if I let another one of those girls waltz in and shatter it. The room fell silent, save for the distant hum of the city, as Eric studied his son, the architect of dreams turned guardian of ghosts. You're firm, Ridge, always have been. But firmness can calcify into stone. Think about Brooke. Think about what this does to her heart. Ridge's shoulders slumped imperceptibly, the war between his convictions and his love for Brooke a familiar battlefield. I am thinking about her. That's why Luna can't stay free. One more chance, and it's our family that pays the price. In the softly lit living room of the Finnegan home, the air was thick with the scent of chamomile tea and unspoken fears, as Finn and Taylor sat across from each other on the plush sectional, a half-empty teapot steaming between them like a fragile truce. Taylor's hands, usually so steady in the therapist's chair, fidgeted with the hem of her silk blouse, her blonde hair catching the lamplight in waves of gold. Finn, we have to tell her, she urged, her voice a blend of maternal steel and professional calm. Steffy's strong, stronger than any of us give her credit for, but keeping this from her about Luna? It's a lie by omission, and lies fester, darling. They turn into infections that no antibiotic can cure. Finn leaned forward, his dark eyes shadowed by the weight of his Hippocratic oath clashing with his loyalty to the Forresters. Taylor, I get it. You're the shrink, the one who peels back layers until the truth bleeds out. But Steffy's just starting to sleep through the night again. That night at the party, Luna's hands around her throat, the drugs in her system. It's PTSD, plain and simple. If we drop this bomb, hey, honey, the girl who tried to kill you is carrying your husband's secret, and oh, by the way, she's tied to Will Spencer now. It'll send her spiraling. Back to therapy, maybe worse. Taylor reached across the table, her fingers brushing his, a spark of the old connection flickering despite the chasm of their past. John, Finn, listen to me. I've spent years watching this family dance around secrets like they're landmines. Ridge with Brooke, you with Steffy, and that shadow of hope, it never ends well. Luna's not just a villain here. She's a victim too, tangled in Tom's web, and now this paternity twist? Steffy needs to know so she can process, heal. Imagine if she finds out from someone else, a tabloid, a slip from hope. It'll destroy her trust in us. Finn pulled back gently, rubbing his temples, as if to massage away the ache. And if we tell her, what then? She storms over to Ridge, demands Luna's head on a platter? Or worse, she confronts Luna herself, and it escalates? Taylor, I love Steffy, God, I do, but she's got that Forrester fire, the kind that burns everything in its path. Debating this feels like choosing between my wife and my what? My conscience? My patient. Taylor's eyes welled, not with tears but with the fierce empathy that had drawn him to her once. Your heart, Finn. It's always been your biggest patient. We tell her together, gently, frame it as closure. Luna's facing jail, Will stepping up. Maybe it's the push Steffy needs to let go. Or do we let the silence eat us alive? The debate hung unresolved, a taut wire between them, as the clock ticked toward midnight, each second a reminder that in the world of the Forresters, truths delayed were truths detonated. Meanwhile, across the sprawling estate that Brooke Logan called her sanctuary, the air was laced with the faint perfume of white lilies, Taylor's signature, a peace offering that landed like a feather in a hurricane. Brooke stood in the foyer, her red dress hugging her curves like a second skin, but her posture was rigid, arms crossed over her chest as if to guard against the vulnerability Taylor's unexpected visit evoked. "Taylor," she said, her voice a velvet blade, "to what do I owe this late-night intrusion? If it's about Ridge, save it. We've danced this tango before, your olive branches, my so-called manipulations. It always ends with you playing the saint and me the sinner." Taylor stepped forward from the shadows, her arms outstretched with a small crystal vase cradling those lilies, their petals unfurling like tentative hands. "Brooke, please. No swords tonight. I'm not here to stake a claim or rehash ancient history. This is about Luna. Our girls, our mess of a family. I know what she did to Steffy was unforgivable, a nightmare wrapped in youthful folly, but seeing you fight for her, it reminded me of how we've both bled for our children, time and again." Brooke's laugh was bitter, echoing off the marble floors, but she didn't turn away. "Fight? Taylor, I'm begging. Luna's my blood, wild and wounded. But jail? Ridge is a wall of granite on this, and now with Will, my God, if that test confirms he's the father, it's a chain reaction. Bridget's torn apart, and you're here with flowers? What is this, really? An apology for the therapy sessions where you dissected my soul?" Taylor set the vase on the console table, her movements graceful, deliberate, as she closed the distance. "An olive branch, Brooke. Pure and simple. I've spent years judging you from afar, up close, in my office chair, calling you the destroyer of homes, the seductress who steals what's mine. But watching you with Luna, fierce and unyielding, it's the mother I recognize in myself with Steffy, with Ridge's kids. We're not so different, you and I, warriors in silk and stilettos, loving men who can't choose sides. Luna needs grace, not just punishment. And maybe we need each other. For them." Brooke's defenses cracked, just a hair, her eyes glistening as she touched the lily's petals. "Grace? From you?" Taylor Hayes, queen of the high road, extending a hand to the woman who's shared your husband's bed more times than I can count? What's the catch? Ridge's soul in exchange. Taylor smiled, a genuine curve that softened the lines of her face. "No catch. Just a truce. Help me convince Ridge to ease up on Luna, counseling, community service, something short of bars. And I'll stand with you on Will, whatever that test brings. We're Logan and Hayes, Brooke, fire and ice. Together, we might just melt that man's resolve." Brooke hesitated, the weight of old wounds pressing down, but in Taylor's eyes, she saw not rivalry but reflection, a mirror of her own relentless heart. "Fine," she murmured, pulling Taylor into a tentative hug, the lilies' scent enveloping them like forgiveness's first breath. "Truce. But if this blows up, you're holding the pieces." Back at the hospital, the lab had emptied, leaving Bridget and Will in a cocoon of quiet punctuated only by the hum of machines in the adjacent ward. Will had stopped sobbing, his breaths coming in ragged pulls as he stared at the test results she'd finally slid across the counter. Black ink on white paper, incontrovertible. "It's real," he said flatly, tracing the words positive match with a finger that still shook. "I'm her dad. Luna's dad. What the hell do I do now, Mom? Show up at the jail with balloons and a sorry I knocked you up card?" Bridget sat beside him, her arm around his shoulders, channeling the strength she'd drawn from her own rocky path. Logan blood, Forrester fire, a career built on mending what others broke. "You start with honesty, Will. Luna's scared too, 17, alone in this, with Tom's shadow hanging over her like a noose. She's not asking for a white knight. She just needs to know you're not running. We'll get you a lawyer for visitation, counseling for both of you. And me? I'll be the bridge, your mom, her almost aunt through all this twisted family tree." Will looked up, his eyes red-rimmed, but sparking with a dawning resolve. "You think she even wants me in her life? After the drugs, the fight with Steffy, Ridge hates her guts. If he pushes that jail time through, I'll be visiting through plexiglass." Bridget squeezed his hand, her voice firm. "Ridge is protective, fiercely so, but he's not heartless. Brooke's fighting him, and if Taylor's involved, well, that's a force of nature. This test changes the game, Will. It humanizes Luna, makes her more than a villain in their story. You're the father. That gives you a voice. Use it. He nodded slowly, the enormity settling like a mantle he wasn't ready to wear but couldn't shed. Okay. Tomorrow I go see her. Tell her I'm sorry and I'm here. But Mom, promise me, if this goes south, if I screw it up like Dad always does, you'll pull me back. Bridget kissed his forehead, the gesture timeless. Always, my boy. Always. The Forrester mansion study felt like a war room, maps of alliances and betrayals strewn across the desk in the form of legal briefs and half-read emails. Ridge paced again, his phone buzzing with a text from Brooke. We need to talk. Taylor's here. Truce. That only fueled his ire. Eric watched from his chair, ever the patriarch, but even he shifted uncomfortably as the door burst open, admitting Finn and Taylor, their faces flushed from the drive over. Ridge, Finn started, his tone measured, doctor to designer. We came straight from home. About Luna, Steffy's asking questions. She overheard Hope on the phone something about the party, the arrest. We can't keep stonewalling. Ridge halted, his gaze sharpening like a blade. Stonewalling? I'm protecting my daughter, Finn. Luna spiked her drink, choked her out. That's not a misdemeanor. That's attempted murder in my book. Jail's where she belongs, cooling her heels until she learns consequences. Taylor stepped forward, her olive branch extended not just to Brooke, but to this fractured brotherhood. Ridge, listen. Brooke and we talked. She's right. Luna's a kid in over her head, Tom's puppet more than mastermind. And now that paternity test, it's a lifeline, not a noose. Steffy needs to know, but from us, framed with compassion. Jail might satisfy your sense of justice, but it won't heal her. Let her face Luna in a mediated session, supervised. Closure, not cages. Finn nodded, backing his ex-mentor. Medically, Ridge, psychologically, bottling this up leads to breakdowns. Steffy's resilient, but she's cracking. Tell her, guide her through it. Luna's not a threat anymore. She's contained, regretting. Ridge's fists clenched, the room's tension coiling like a spring. Regretting? Words are cheap, Taylor. You extend your branches to Brooke, fine, play house with the enemy. But my daughter? No. Luna serves time, full stop. Steffy learns that justice prevails, not some feel-good therapy circle. Eric rose then, his voice cutting through like aged whiskey. Enough, Ridge. You're firm, son, but blinded. This family's survived worse. Affairs, amnesia, corporate coups. Luna's thread pulls at will, at Bridget, at Brooke's heart. Cut it, and you sever us all. Stand down. Let the women lead for once. The words landed like a gauntlet, and Ridge deflated, sinking into a chair, the fight ebbing into weary acceptance. Damn it, Dad. For Steffy, maybe a delay on the sentencing. But one wrong move, and it's over. Upstairs in her sunlit bedroom, Steffy Forrester tossed fitfully in silk sheets, the nightmare replaying in fragments. Luna's wild eyes, the burn in her throat, the haze of betrayal. She bolted upright, heart pounding, only to find Finn at the door, Taylor behind him, their faces a mask of gentle resolve. Steph, Finn murmured, crossing to her side, enveloping her in his arms. We need to talk. About Luna, everything. Taylor hovered, her presence a balm of understanding. Sweetheart, it's time. No more shadows. Steffy pulled back, her blue eyes, mirror to Ridge's, flaring with suspicion. Everything? Like how she tried to end me. Or the new twist. Will's kid? I heard whispers, Dad's raging. Just say it. Finn exchanged a glance with Taylor, then dove in, his voice steady. The test confirmed it. Will's the father. Luna's carrying his child, and it's complicating everything. Ridge wants her jailed, but your mom, Brooke, and Taylor are pushing for mercy, counseling instead. Steffy's laugh was sharp, edged with pain. Mercy? For the girl who drugged me, who saw red, and went for my neck. Finn, you of all people, my husband, my rock, debating this? And Taylor, extending branches to Brooke now? What's next? Family picnics with the enemy? Taylor knelt by the bed, her hand on Steffy's knee. Not enemies, Steffy. Women who've loved the same man, raised the same wild souls. Luna's not irredeemable. She's lost, like we all were once. Telling you isn't to absolve her, it's to free you. Confront it, feel it, then let it go. Steffy searched their faces, the debate's echoes in their eyes, and something shifted. A crack in the armor. Free me? God, I want that. But jail. She deserves bars for what she took from me. Yet if Will's stepping up, if this baby's innocent, maybe Ridge is wrong. Maybe firmness isn't always right. Finn kissed her forehead, relief flooding him. That's my fighter. We'll navigate it together. As dawn crept over Los Angeles, painting the skyline in hues of pink and gold, Brooke and Taylor stood on the Logan patio, coffee cups steaming in the chill air, the lilies now a centerpiece on the table between them. You did it, Brooke said softly, clinking her mug to Taylor's. Ridge budged, just a little, but enough for Luna to breathe. Taylor smiled, the truce holding fragile but true. We did it. Mothers united. Now Will and Bridget, they'll need us too. Across the way, in the hospital cafe, Bridget watched Will gather his courage, heading toward the jail visiting room, the paternity test tucked in his pocket like a talisman. You're ready, she whispered to his retreating back. And in that moment, amid the drama's endless churn, the family threads, tangled, torn, but unbroken, began to weave anew.